Welcome in, Frostburg State fans, to our spring sport recap. That's right, we are finally done with our 2023-2024 school year, and we had a lot of success in the spring that we are going to talk about. Logan Walsh and with Morgan Cuthbertson, as always. We will start off with acrobatics and tumbling, who kind of mold their winter into the spring, but another successful season for the ladies, won another MEC Conference Tournament championship, and went to a second straight NCATA Nationals Finals appearance. Head coach Katie Amador doing wonderful things with this team, as she has done since she took the job all those years ago, and just another great success for these ladies, and leading the way for one of the newer programs here at FSU.
Yeah, Logan, as always, thank you for having me. I think spring, we're finally we're done the school year. Spring's kind of the best one. We saved the best for last. We got a lot going on in the spring, and I think no better way to start off is with acro. Acro is such a fun sport to watch. It kind of starts earlier spring, and ends early on. But Katie Amador doing a great job with these athletes. So much success and so much that they can build on each year, year after year. Just program coming in just a couple years, early on. But second straight MEC championship. I know 7-3 record. 4-1 record in the MEC. I know we were kind of all heartbroken, a little nervous when they lost that, Fairmont State matchup here that we hosted, but absolute fantastic performance in the MEC championships. Team overall won 6 event finals also at the MEC championships, and then hats off to Abby Baker, another All-American status, All-American career here at Frostburg State. Neva Marie Rose getting MEC Specialist of the Year, so well deserved, and then Lakin Spar and Sydney Green getting also all MEC honors. So I think acro was so fun to watch, and Katie Amador just keeps pushing her athletes, and definitely, like I said, so much fun to watch, and each year they keep getting better and taking the program to new heights.
Yeah, and a little bit disappointing at the end of the year, falling short in that quarterfinal appearance once again to Quinnipiac, who made it up to the semifinals, number 2 in the country at the time. A little bit bittersweet for Neva and Abby, who were hurt going into it, and didn't give full competition, didn't really show what they had to offer, but the accolades were there. Certainly we know exactly how talented they are. We'll go from the indoors into the outdoors and onto the base paths. Frostburg State baseball, one of the most successful seasons in program history, really, and kind of a landmark season they had at the Division II level. Made their first ever NCAA tournament appearance, then the Atlantic Regional, finished as North Division champions for the second straight season. Head coach Anthony Williams had his guys ready to go from the start. Got a couple of votes in the national polls as well, where they were recognized, and a bunch of all-region honors that we've had come out in recent weeks. But he had a squad that was ready to go, built. Didn't quite get it done at tournament time, but certainly the rest of the coaches and people around this region in the conference knew how talented they were.
Sure, and I know we work a lot of hours in baseball, put a lot of time in, but it's another fun sport to watch. Is so successful, and Anthony Williams, MEC Coach of the Year, so well deserved of him to get that for his first time here at Frostburg State. I know he surpassed 100 career wins at Frostburg, and then 250 overall career wins, so congrats to him. But he brought in terrific freshman class this year. Ryan Boma, start off with him, MEC Freshman of the Year, leading the whole conference in doubles. And then bringing in a whole mix of, juniors and seniors, kind of a lot of into the pitching staff, but a lot of players that just succeed. We talked about so many honors that, we have to get out because these guys are just so athletic, so talented. Ethan Keipel, MEC Player of the Year, D2 CCA, and Rawlings Atlantic Region Player of the Year. Hats off to him as well, finishing out his Frostburg State career here. And then Randy Steen, Mikey Guy, Patrick Bauer, all spread out among the All-Atlantic Region honors in there, plus, overall 7 All-MEC honors. And then you talk about their run short in the MEC tournament, another MEC North Division title, most wins in a season since 2015 with a 37-16 record, and then making their first appearance as a D2 team in the NCAA tournament. So another successful season, and like I said, bringing in that kind of freshman class. They do lose a lot with the big senior class and 13 players, but definitely a bright future for Frostburg State baseball.
Yeah, and head coach Williams now has that track record of bringing in guys year after year where, you don't expect there to be any kind of fall off when he first took the job. A rough first couple of seasons for him, but he really started to turn around, and now it's, expected that we're going to be one of the best teams in the MEC. And on the other side, then we'll go into softball on the other side of the base paths. Head coach Bill Vasco leading his team to the second seed in the North Division. Kind of a rocky start in the non-conference, but really clicked when it came to MEC play with a 20-8 conference record. That was 20 of their 29 wins coming in the MEC. Jamie Roberts, what a fantastic career that she had. Only 3 seasons that she played. Going to graduate early. Very successful off the field, but put her name into almost every single top 5 career record list that we have in just 3 seasons. Auden Miller and Gracie Nelson also getting some All-MEC honors. Talented group there that he's going to bring back some, but some question marks as well. But overall, you look at it and it's like that was a pretty good season, all things considered.
Sure, I know he also put a lot of time into softball, but Bill Vasco does a great job. Can't say enough about Jamie Roberts. Like you mentioned, breaking all those records and just kind of setting a standpoint for these younger girls coming in and just in 3 seasons here. Jamie Roberts, first team All-MEC selection. You mentioned Gracie Nelson and Arden Miller, just sophomores this year, and getting the recognition they deserve as All-MEC second team honorees as well. And I want to give a shout out to Katie Chappell coming in. That injury with her arm put her out last year, coming in and pitching very well, kind of like a rocky start, but coming in, picking up 6 wins, a shutout, and another shout out to Alyssa Albright. She was second on the team in batting average, kind of behind Jamie Roberts. So it's great to see these young players getting the recognition they deserve and putting up the numbers with a big senior class and an excellent talent like Jamie Roberts leaving after this season.
And there will be a lot of sophomores and juniors coming back that got a lot of valuable play time and kind of have set the mold. Pitching going to have to kind of figure that out. Kate Chappell is the only returning starting pitcher. Fantastic careers for both Jamie and Sydney Theobald. Have to mention set the career program appearances and starts, earned top 5 in wins. Big shout out to our southpaw out there on the mound. We will then go into men's lacrosse, who we kind of know what we're getting from men's lacrosse nowadays. They're going to be one of the top teams in the ECC, once again falling to those pesky Mercy Mavericks in the championship game, but beating a couple ranked teams throughout this season. Coach Gardelman has established us as a powerhouse in Division II, consistent national rankings every single week, and a few really, really talented, successful seasons from a lot of our players this year.
Sure, like you said, men's lacrosse, you kind of know where you're going to get, they're always good. In the 3rd straight conference championship game, just can't get past Mercy, but still always a strong outing from Steve Gardelman and his Bobcats. Bubba Love, finishing his long-time career here at Frostburg State, received ECC Offensive Player of the Year, broke the all-time career points record, and then just tying the all-time scoring record, tying his brother. And then you look at fantastic players like Chase Buckwalter, Luke McCullough, and then Seamus Kearney being kind of the younger guys on defense coming back. Those 4 kind of finishing the season as All-Americans. And then we get men's lacrosse with 6 All-Conference Award winners and then 5 All-Region awards as well. So definitely another strong season for men's lacrosse and a bright future as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the 4 All-Americans, and the most in a single season for the program had 2 in 3 separate years, but 4 on one team. Pretty remarkable for them, and another building year that it's going to be for next year, where it just seems like there's no reloading. It's always he's got the next guy stepping up immediately. On the women's side, then, with head coach Taylor Klein leading her squad to another MEC championship title and a regular season title, romping through the MEC in a way. It was a close championship game against Charleston, especially through the first half, but these girls were ready to go, and ever since they tasted that victory last year, they've always wanted more, finishing with quite a strong record, going up against a couple of nationally ranked teams, not quite getting over that hump, but you see the talent level and the competition that they're able to bring to some of these schools.
I think women's lacrosse, they checked so many boxes this year. First ever undefeated season in conference play, 8-0 MEC record, first ever regional ranking, congrats to them. And then they won it. You can tell those girls won it. They come into play. 2nd straight regular season championship, and then 2nd straight MEC championship, like you mentioned. Taylor Klein, head coach, getting her 3rd straight MEC award. Head Coach of the Year honor. That's just fantastic for her. And then Neela Haney, just a sophomore this season, repeating as that Conference Offensive Player of the Year, getting that All-Atlantic Region second team honor. And then you look at graduate student Mara O'Neill coming in, receiving MEC Defensive Player of the Year. Such a weapon on the midfield position, putting up numbers on the offensive end and the defensive end. And the exciting thing is, women's lacrosse only loses, they do lose 4 seniors, but all these young players coming in, all young players getting, I think they have 6 more All-MEC award winners, and all those players are so young, get to come back and play for head coach Taylor Klein once again.
Yeah, and of those, 4 players not returning, but you look at the defensive end where a lot of the strengths are, and Mara is going to be one of those that leaves. But that entire back line, you look at like Izzy Kelly and Jessie Bear and Delaney Devers, starting goalkeeper Nicole Gray, all are going to be back. So that is certainly going to be a strong point. And anytime you have Neela Haney in attack, you're going to have a chance to do well in games. So certainly, kind of that next step for Coach Klein going to be beating some of those ranked teams and getting, our name out there nationally. You mentioned regionally getting ranked. So that'll sort of be along the lines there. Go on to the track then, and we'll start with men's track and field, where Coach Shane Brookshire has consistently just kind of put out this team and started to grow them slowly but surely, where we've now become such a multifaceted program, where it used to be, current assistant coach John Kearns and his buddy Mike Belker used to kind of carry the points with their throws, but now we're getting it from the track, we're getting it from the jumps, we're getting it from the throws, we're getting it from the multis, where it's all coming together. Not quite challenging at the top yet, but certainly putting our name there, and people know the athletes to watch out for.
Sure, and like you said, I think track, you can see them grow every year. They keep getting better and better. They competed in nine meets this season. We hosted the Bob Lewis Classic once again, and lucky for us enough to host the MEC Championships once again. The men placing 4th out of 10 teams in the MEC Championships, but a lot of individual winners there. Marquise Burks took the decathlon. Tom McCoy keeps doing his thing in the pole vault, taking that as well. Nate Messi getting 2nd in the 400 meters. And then you look at Ben Treat coming in, getting, I think, a 3rd place finish in the shot put. Head coach Shane Brookshire keeps building this freshman class coming in terrifically. Nate Shields taking the long jump in the MEC Championships, and then all 4 of those, Messi, Shields, McCoy, and Burks, getting all region honors. Very well deserved, and I'm so excited to see them keep growing and hopefully get to the top as they keep climbing.
Yeah, and as always with track, you're losing a lot and trying to bring some in every single year. Nate Messi, one of those seniors, is going to be leaving. Good for him to end on a high note, breaking the school's 400 record, which has stood, I think, since the early 1990s. So a big props for him. Tom McCoy just keeps setting his own bar, literally, in the pole vault. Marquise Burks climbing his name up the decathlon records. Certainly high hopes for Nate Shields as he continues his career. So all these guys are, putting their name into the record books, where, men's track and field won a couple national championships, that those numbers are hard to break, and he's getting the guys that can come in and do it and improve, over time. So good for them. On the women's side as well, up to a 3rd place finish, their highest ever point total at the MEC Outdoor Championships. It's led by a strong group, especially on the track, but you bring in again the multis and the jumps that are doing their thing, and you see with such the youth that he's bringing in, that everyone's basically going to be coming back, that makes an impact on this team.
And you look at like the accomplishment, the 3rd place finish in those MEC Championships, the best since they joined the conference, stuff like that, and you just look and how important that is and how good that is for Shane Brookshire and the track and field team here at Frostburg State. But more winners in the MEC Championships for the Lady Bobcats, taking 1st in the 4x1 and the 4x4. Same team, Malaika Habib, Valerie Boards, Isabel Mastri, and Lily Williams, and all of them underclassmen, or most of them underclassmen. You can see how hard they work and how well-deserving that is. And then you look at Jasmine Scott taking the 400 and Eva Morrison in the pole vault. And both sides, on the men and women, Shane Brookshire has such young, talented athletes, definitely can keep going here.
Yeah, he always comes into our office. He loves to talk and, bring up these athletes that he's recruiting, trying to bring in some of the people that are coming back, and he's it's just so excited for them that he's going to be welcoming in new classes next year, and hopefully push up towards the Charlestons and the West Liberties there at the top of the conference, that maybe just kind of catch them a little bit. We wrap up with men's tennis and women's tennis. We'll start on the men's side first. Historical for them, making their 1st ever conference tournament appearance, led by the fearsome duo, I guess we have to call it, of Cole Alcala and Herman Diaz, who just set the flag and the standard for this program over the last couple of years. Both only sophomores. Cole is quickly climbing his way up the career wins record in singles play, and them as a doubles pairing. There's no team in the conference that wants to go up against them.
Absolutely, and head coach Jeff Splinter kind of should get the recognition he deserves. They keep climbing and going up here in men's tennis at Frostburg State, but not enough you can say about the sophomore duo and #1 doubles there, Kolakala and Herman Diaz. Diaz getting or earning first team All-MEC honors there, the first to ever do so since joining Division II, making that first MEC tournament appearance as #4 seed, but it's so exciting to see them get better and better each year.
Yeah, and you know, shout out to Cole, who did not get the All-MEC honor. Certainly feel that he was deserving of them as the #1 player on the team. A couple of freshmen that came in and some injuries that you know kind of bugged the team down throughout. But certainly excited for nearly every returner coming back. Del Carden, a senior that's going to graduate, and one of the most famous names in Frostburg, if you ask any athlete that's here. But the core of that team will be coming back. On the women's side, then, we talk about, depth and expansion that, 4 All-MEC players from that squad just fell short of getting an all-region or a regional appearance from the NCAA. Came oh so close to taking a victory as well in the MEC tournament, a historic moment for them as well, making the first time. But such talent there that all of those players are coming back to look forward to next year.
Sure, women's tennis, 12-10 record, their first winning season since 2010, over a decade, which that's fantastic for them. Also getting into their first ever MEC tournament as the #3 seed, and 4 All-MEC honors, and Alicia Cush, the one that received the All-MEC first team. And then you look at Lorena Pintar, Julia Ramos, and Patricia Castellon getting that All-MEC second team honors. Most of them are so young as well. Castellon coming in as a freshman, and it's just so exciting to see them finally get what they deserve in success, and then again another team that can just keep going up, and you see it year after year.
Yeah, you're speaking of the youth, and Lorena is only a junior, and she feels like the senior leader on that team, where Julia's been here for a couple of years as well. Alyssa is sophomore, so you just see the growth. And I remember talking with Coach Splinter all throughout the year of he could chop and change that lineup so much that you never know who was going to play in #1, or basically 1 through 5, anyone could go there. So very happy to see them. And with that is the spring sports done. We finally can take a little bit of a break with the amount that we hosted this year. You mentioned the track championships, hosting so many baseball and softball games, hosting the entire women's lacrosse tournament, hosting a game here at the men's lacrosse tournament as well. It's very busy for us. We obviously enjoy it, and that's what the job comes with. But we appreciate all of our fans coming in and supporting us and letting us do this job so successfully.
Sure, and like you said, the fans, athletes, and coaches, they make it so fun in the spring. We put our heart and soul into the spring, so much going on, and the fact that all our spring sports are so successful, knocking off records and breaking stuff like that makes it even more fun and enjoyable.
Well, Morgan, thank you, first of all, for joining me and being here. And to our fans, thank you for all your support throughout the entire 2023-2024 academic year. We'll be on some content here throughout the summer, so always be sure to stay tuned with Bobcat Athletics. And as always, go Bobcats.